You don't usually think of monkeys when you think of Florida, but we found a little corner where monkeys rule an island in the Gulf Coast of Florida. We went up, we had a look at some other things. Let's take a look at the cornucopia of sites in the nature coast of Florida. Well, as you can see, there are several boats out here. We've been out here a couple of times, and this is the first time really we've seen any other boats out here going around the island to have a look at the monkeys. See if I can get out of the way here a little bit. I'm with Blake Lohman today at Monkey Island in Homosassa, Florida. It's a gorgeous Florida day. Blake, tell us a little bit about Monkey Island.
Yeah, Cliff, great question. So Monkey Island is really famous here in Old Homosassa. It started in the early 60s. The monkeys were at the local state park here right by the springs, and the monkeys started escaping kind of their exhibits and getting into people's purses, stealing sunglasses and hats. And the owner of the resort back in the day, Ferguson, he decided that they're to pile some rocks up behind us, what now Monkey Island is today. It used to be during high tide a lot of low rocks that boaters couldn't see, and they would damage a lot of their props and lower units. So he was on a business trip, the story goes, and decided to hire a dragline operator to pile up some rocks so it would be visible for the boaters.
I jumped in the kayak and weaved my way among other tour boats going around the island and paddled around to watch these guys. It was a 91-degree day, so they weren't too active sitting on the front porch of their air-conditioned enclosure and walking across the rope that you see there sitting on a ledge, but they were still fun to watch in their not-so-natural habitat. Just a short drive down the road from Monkey Island is a very small and not very well known state park. It's the Yulee Plantation State Park, and although it's just kind of a wide spot in the road, it really is worth a stop to get a sense of Florida's history. During your time to the central Florida coast on the Gulf is the Yulee Sugar Plantation, hearkening from the Civil War. This mill has been here for 125 or 30 years. At one time, it was a 5,000-acre spread and had 1,000 slaves operating the cotton, the sugar, the citrus, and other supplies. The mill supplied, that is Yulee, the owner of the mill, supplied the Confederates during the Civil War. The mill is still here. It's not worth a day's trip, but it is only about a mile from the Monkey Island exhibit, and it makes a nice little stop. There's a nice picnic area, a couple of little cafes, and it makes a pleasant stop to take a look at some of America's history. You can still see and almost hear the gears clanking, the slaves groaning and working, producing cotton for the Civil War effort in the South. There you have it. The Yulee Sugar Plantation. From the sugar plantation, we did what we normally do, and that's head for the Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Bureau. We like to do that to get an orientation. We talked to Leslie Boland. Leslie, we're in Crystal River today to find out what kinds of things are. The 5 spider monkeys living on this island have a pretty doggone good life. Lots of action with boaters going by, even paddlers and kayakers that give the monkeys something to look at, think about, and play close to. Happening here, tell us a little bit about why people would like to come to Crystal River.
So we are home of the manatee. We are the winter home to hundreds of thousands of manatees throughout the season. Our springs are a consistent temperature all year long. So that is why they flock here in the winter months to stay warm. That is what we are most known for, but we also have a beautiful area with lots of rich history and other wildlife, as well as a very charming downtown.
Downtown, tell us a little bit about your downtown, because we hear that it's very quaint and very pretty.
It is. So our historic Citrus Avenue, which encompasses all of our downtown, it includes several historic shops, shopping, eating, restaurants, some very famous seafood places you can find down there, as well as great shopping, entertainment. A lot of our kayak and manatee tours call downtown home as well.
You've sort of alluded to it, but tell us specifically what brings people to Crystal River from Sweden or Oregon or places far away.
So swimming with the manatees is definitely what brings people from all over the world. It is a top bucket list thing to do that's been named in several magazines and lists throughout. It is a world-class experience that you can only get here in Crystal River.
What else besides the manatees and the restaurants in downtown bring people to Crystal River?
So we are also home to the Crystal River National Wildlife Refuge, which houses our Three Sisters Springs, which is a world-renowned Florida spring. It was named on National Geographic. Jacques Cousteau came here actually to study the manatees. You can see Three Sisters Springs by water or by land. There's lots of birding and nature trails throughout that as well.
One of the nice things about this out of the way, but really pretty doggone compact area is how close things are. We left Leslie and drove just another country byway back out to the Archaeological Institute. We wanted to see those more than a millennium old burial mounds and temples. We found a beautiful spot. When we say up, we mean up with these mounds. They are very, very high. Let's go up and see what's at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. At 7 inches for each step, we're talking about 350 inches. So it is a climb to the top. But at the top, be prepared for some spectacular views. It's a climb to get up here, but as you top the step and come onto the deck, you look out across the salt marshes where you have lots of landscape, and of course the river comes through here. It becomes a very beautiful scenic and pastoral site. All that climbing, flora, fauna, and hiking made us hungry, so we headed to St. John's Tavern, where Sarah fixed us a wonderful creamy Italian soup for our lunch. It was good, the company was good, people came in friendly as all. We're right in downtown Crystal River. Next door is Norton's, which is also a good place to eat. After a hearty lunch, we walked this little downtown, interesting mixture of modern but also some very old buildings, though well occupied. It's a nice walking experience, not more than about 3 or 4 or 5 blocks, with interesting houses, quaint shops, pretty sights, and a couple of pretty girls here. The city is also home to a mural that's part of the wildlife corridor that spans Florida. After enjoying Crystal River, we promised you a bonus, and we're going to give you that bonus. The Homosassa State Natural Park. What a pretty place. Let's go and take a look. We're at the Homosassa Natural Preserve. This is one of the unique things about this park. It has an underwater manatee observation room. You can see from the water behind me, you're able to see fish. We just saw a school of snook go through. Frequently there are manatee. The rangers feed the fish and the manatees. So if you see heads of lettuce floating in the water, you'll almost certainly see manatees. In a relatively short day, we covered lots in Citrus and Hernando County. We can recommend it. This is Cliff Brock for World Travel Plus.